Amen. Here to take us further along in our worship this afternoon is reflections on a life that meant something to us all. Breon Prescott, Willie Chuck Shivers, and Music Soul Child. Come on, let's love them as they come.
Good morning, good morning. To God be the glory. This is really tough, but this is what Angie would have wanted me to do. I met Angie in 1998, 20 years old in New York. And thought I would write something down, but I think my story tells everything that needs to be said about Angie Stone and our relationship. I met Angie in the studio, working on a new artist as a producer, and she was writing a song. Now, who would know that I'm from Columbia, South Carolina, and Angie Stone is from Columbia, South Carolina, and we're all the way in New York. And as we were working on this project together, me and the artist, we get into a conversation, and it's kind of heated. And Angie Stone says, "Where you from, boy?" And I said, "I'm from South Carolina." She said, "What part?" I said, "Columbia." She said, "What's your last name?" In true Angie Stone fashion, I said, "Prescott." She said, "Well, there ain't but so many Prescotts in Columbia, South Carolina." And when I told her who my grandfather was, she said, "Boy, stop." And Blondie, you know about this. She said, "Boy, your grandfather has been with my mother and my father for a very long time." Now, what's the coincidence of that? From that moment on, Angie asked me, "Have you ever managed anybody?" I said, "Angie, I ain't never managed anybody." She said, "Well, you're gonna learn today. You're gonna manage me." Now, I've been in the business for 30 years, and I've gone on to do some incredible things in this business. But that next day, after she asked me to manage her, she said, "Come to the studio the next day." I arrived at the studio the next day. She said, "I want you to listen to the song." The song was "No More Rain in This Cloud." She said, "What you think about that song, boy?" This is true Angie Stone fashion. I said, "Angie, I've never heard a song like this in my life." She said, "We got a meeting tomorrow with Clive Davis." I'm 20 years old, and this is the influence that Angie Stone has had in my life and how she's influenced each and every one of us to take a 20-year-old who's never managed anybody to meet with Clive Davis and tell him that I'm going to be her manager. Well, we went on a magical ride with "No More Rain in This Cloud." Angie taught me the road. She taught me touring. She taught me so much. I would not be where I am today if it weren't for Angie Stone, which a lot of us wouldn't be where we were today if it wasn't for Angie Stone. I will end by saying we made an incredible album with Black Diamond, which she named after her daughter. We made another incredible album, Mahogany Soul, that soared to the top of the charts. But I remember telling Angie I wanted to have my own record company, and she named my record company, which I still have now. I was on tour with Frankie Beverly and Mays with Angie, and I met now the great Jamie Foxx, which I managed his music career and still do to this day. And I'm saying this to say that all of this was because of Angie Stone. I love her dearly. I will honor her name. Michael, Diamond, Blondie, I'm here for you. And we should all continue to honor Angie Stone's name because she deserves it, and this is what she wanted. God bless you, and I love you, Angie.
It's very hard. But giving honor to God, who's the head of my life, I bring you greetings from Entertainment Connections and the Blind Boys of Alabama. Before I get started, we seem very tight, so let's take us out of here and think. If you're at the Mabel house right now and you hear this, coming to the stage, she hears you. Coming to the stage, Angie Stone. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. God bless her. Boy, I just feel I'm full, and my sister passed a couple of weeks ago, and I'm back here, and it's like my next sister passed, and I was talking to Angie when my sister passed. She said, "Boy, it's gonna be all right." Over the years, I met Angie like 15 or so years ago, and I did some producing on her records, touring with her production, some road managing, but not as much as Ashton and Dana. So get that straight. So she was so kind to her fans. She's just so kind to her fans. But there was another side. That was the business. So now I can remember a time we had a show, I'm road managing, taking care of business production. She looked at me and said, talking to her fans, "Girl, it's gonna be I love y'all. I'm ready to go do my show. Everything right? Hey, y'all got Duke, y'all ready? Come on, Ashley." She looked at me and said, "They got my money?" I said, "And cash." I have to say, if I said, "Angie, I got it," she's off and running. But if I had to say, "Angie, they said that she said, "What?" "They said that," I said, "Okay, Angie, they don't have it." She said, "Well, I think we're gonna do this one. Let's go find us something to eat." So it felt like she was your sister or your friend. And to Mike, she said, "Mike, he a beast." And Diamond has her tenacity, and Blondie, you are always holding it down. But in the end, I just want to leave you with this, looking at Angie's Stone. She, Angie, is an angel now in God's infinite and everlasting hands.
I've known Angie since I started in 2000. We did a song together called "The Ingredients of Love." She was one of the first artists that I worked with, and the energy that she had at the time was so magnetic. I didn't know if she was my mama, my sister, my homegirl. Like, it was just so much all at once. And I was really drawn to that energy because, I grew up in Philly. Philly is really hard, and I had a hard upbringing, so I didn't have a lot of positive female interactions like that, Yeah, I had sisters and cousins and things like that, but I've never experienced female energy so pure and raw, and then for it to be creative as well. And we were just bouncing off of, the whole music thing, exchanging vibes. And to learn later on how long she has been doing it before then. We're talking about 2000, so she's been at it about almost 20 years since then. So to track that all the way up till today, that is a long arc to be contributing to a culture of music that we all grew up generations in, that I don't think is really being fully acknowledged. So, to the family, I wish you nothing but peace and comfort in this time. All the love that is there in existence to be shown to you, to have been in the orbit of someone so special, and to have been put in a position to share her with the rest of us is greatly appreciated. We will all miss her. And I can only pray that we do her proud moving on in our lives. She was a colleague, an elder, and a friend. And God bless everyone. God bless Angie Stone.